everyone, and welcome to our first Pegasus Film Festival live stream of 2023. We're really excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. And I am here with Aaron, our videographer for the Pegasus leadership team this year. So, hello,
Hey,
Aaron.
what's up?
And we are live today on both YouTube and Twitch, and we're just going to be discussing like our favorite films, just having a general casual discussion about movies. So feel free to join in the chat and let us know what your favorite film is. Going to go ahead and type that in the chat real quick in case anyone joins soon.
Well, this is kind of like trippy because it's just like us for right now until someone joins, of course. But
Yeah. All right. I went ahead and put that in the chat, so I'm also going to pull it up on my phone just to make sure everything's working real quick and see if anyone joins.
oh, that's cool.
Okay, awesome.
Hey,
Okay, so we can go ahead and get started with the discussion. But Aaron, what are your favorite films? Like, if you had to pick a top three.
I can't. That's so tough though, just to pick a top three. Um, I don't know. I mean, I have so many. One of my favorite things to do is to go like watch a movie or like any movie that I like to watch at home in theater or something. And then if it's really good, immediately like walk out and then put it on my list on my phone. I have an extensive list. I think it's like upwards of, like 20 something.
Oh
There's a
wow.
ton. Yeah, I mean, I took something away from everyone. So if I had to break it down, top three, it's really tough. I think right, it switches so much though. So like it probably won't stay this long. But right now, for sure, in no particular order, Whiplash, definitely up there. I absolutely adore that movie. Spider-Man: No Way Home is up there, and shoot, so tough. Trying to think. I really that's it's so hard to pick one. Under the Silver Lake, with Andrew Garfield's also probably in top three, which I movie. But what about you?
My favorite movies. Okay, so I love reading.
Mm.
So my top favorite movies, like trilogy series, is Lord of the Rings, because I love the book. I really love the book. I've like loved it for years. So
Mm.
that's probably like, I mean, it's three movies, so I'll count it as one though for the top three. And then I also like the Batman,
Oh,
2022. I really love the cinematography in that one. Like Greg Fraser's my favorite cinematographer ever. So that's probably a very close second. And then what else? I know those two are like my definite top favorite movies, but I'm trying to think of another one I really like because there are so many. I also like animated films too. So I like Encanto on Disney Plus, and then I also just watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and it
nice.
was surprisingly good. I didn't really want to see it, but then I watched it, and it was really good. So I highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I really need to watch it.
You should. It's really good, surprisingly. Um,
Yeah.
I like kind of went into it a little bit biased because I mean, I just thought it would be like some weird comedy animated film, and I never really. I mean, most sequels aren't that great in my opinion, so I kind of went into it with that kind of biased mindset, thinking it wouldn't be that good, but it actually really was, so definitely recommend it.
That's awesome. I don't know. It's so tough just to pick like the top three. Like I'm already like regretting my choices already. I'm up, yeah, movie in this movie, but I think that's like the best part of it because I think it's the toughest answer for anybody. You know, like I
Oh,
can
yeah.
give this answer to so many different people, and everyone's not gonna have just three. It's like music. I feel like everyone. I mean, I'm sure you have like a favorite song, but no one
Mm-hmm.
can really like in because there's so many parts of like different movies that I like. But like a little bit context on like my like three movies, I guess. I feel like Whiplash not only is it just like a great story, great film, great like everything about it. I really like the takeaway from it, which is kind of hardcore and kind of messed up in a little bit, but I just like the takeaway about like hard work and completely focusing on what you want to do and where you want to go, what you want to be. I really like that idea of it, even though
Mhm.
it's like put across in a very like terrible way because the teacher was definitely abusive, 100%. And if anybody is treating you like that, you should report them. But um, I like the takeaway from that. And then I think we talked about it recently, but Spider-Man: No Way Home is like a childhood like favorite. Absolutely love that movie, and growing up with it, I think just added to the hype so much. And then
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like MCU fans are always so spotty, but I feel like a lot of people will like argue against it. But I think that movie's perfect. I genuinely like love every single part of it. And then Under the Silver Lake was a movie I watched. I think really when I was like getting into movies, which was around like 2020, 2019, when I
Mhm.
really like started really watching like films, and that was just some random one I saw like on Amazon Prime. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. Like Andrew Garfield, I love Spider Man, so why not watch it? And then I ended up watching it, and then learned the story. And originally being from Los Angeles, it felt like a really cool like love letter in a weird way to the city, and I really enjoyed it. And that's a little bit of context on like why specifically those films.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't seen Whiplash. What's it on? Do you recommend it?
Whiplash?
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, I think it's on YouTube right now. Actually,
Oh,
like I think
really?
the last three, but I'm not 100% for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to
It's
check it out because I haven't seen it and I don't think I've heard of it either.
it's fantastic. It's so good. It's I'm sure you've heard Damon Chazelle. It's made by him, and he's just awesome as a director. I think he's starting to become like one of my favorite directors because he's just really really good. He made that La La Land. You know, I Babylon with
Yes.
Eddie. Which is like I said, like how I was preparing my decision is because I think La La Land also deserves to be somewhere in there because of how great that movie is.
It
But
really does. I watched it like a few months ago and I loved it. It's so good.
it's like one of those movies where you watch it every time, I feel like, and then you take something away from it, which is super cool and super fun. And I feel like every time like I've watched it, I appreciate it so much more than like, and I like I said, like I pick out new things from it. And I remember because I watched it first originally in theaters, and it blew my like I was like, whoa, like this is like a movie, like this is what it could be instead of like Transformers and stuff. Like this could actually be like movies and stuff. And then I think I really fell in love with like movies and stuff like that, like after watching La La Land, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know you have a lot of favorite movies and movies that you like. So do you kind of want to go through some more of them that
I don't know. Is it gonna take me off if I like swipe off my phone?
possibly, I'm not entirely sure.
Can you still see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. I'll go to my favorite movies list. I have like I will show you one day, but it's just a big list on my phone. Right now at the top of the list, I don't think none of them are in like particular order. Like I love like all these movies, but Kings of Summer. I don't know if you have you seen that.
I haven't.
That one's also super good. It's like I don't know how to explain. It's just like these three kids and they leave their families and they just go live in the woods during summer. But it's just so cool because it's one of those movies where like you watch it and you can tell it's summer. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like it's just like a feeling you get when watching movies. And it's like one of those ones you watch it and it feels like summer. And I think that's like one of my favorite things about that movie, which is great.
Yeah, that's really awesome. What is that one on? Like, if you know.
Uh, I know for sure like Amazon Prime. I think it might be on Hulu, but
Okay.
for sure. I could be wrong though. I'm trying my best to like remember everything. And then the next one is Hot Summer Nights. I don't know if you've seen that. Timothy Chalamet.
I love him, but I haven't seen it.
That was also super great. Another one of those. It was like I don't want to say a period piece, but it's based in 19 I think like 1991, which is like I feel like you get like a lot of 80s, you know, you get a lot of 70s, 60s, but I don't feel like you get a crazy amount of 90s movies that are made nowadays, which is kind of cool to have someone pick that time period, but it worked perfectly. There's Timothy Chalamet, and I forgot the other actors. The actress from It Follows is in it. I know that, but it's this kid and he goes to I think Cape Cod, somewhere like in that region, and
Mm-hmm.
then he finds a new friend and he gets to sell weed, and then starts, and it's like this whole like drama, and it's just like a coming of age story, which is super cool because like I said, it's one of those movies where like the music works perfectly, you can like feel the heat through the screen, and it just feels like summer. And I think that's like one of the things I like about it like the most because I also feel like it feels like Stranger Things in the way that it Stranger Things does that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really really fun to watch. It may not be on like a lot of people's list, but I think it found me at the exact time I needed to watch it, where it had to make my list, which is super cool because he's coming out with a new movie um, with Jonathan Majors, which is gonna be fun. Hopefully soon.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like Empire something. I don't know. But
I've
and it's like a bodybuilder, but I don't know.
That's really cool. I feel like I've seen like something about that, but I wasn't like 100% sure, but that's really cool.
Yeah. What about you? What are some of your other favorite films? I know that asked before.
This is tough. I like Skyfall. Have you seen
Oh,
it? I don't know why. I just like at first the first time I watched it, I kind of felt bored. I know. But then I watched it again like the other day and it's so good. I don't know why, but the cinematography is also really good, but then again it's Roger Deakins, so
oh,
it's bound to be good. And then I I have a I really like fantasy films though. I like Dune and sci-fi and stuff.
yeah,
Um, what's another? I'm trying to think of something. There's this indie film called 9 Days, which is really good. I don't
yeah.
know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to go. So it's Winston Duke, right?
Yes. Yeah, that one's really good. I watched it at the Austin Film Festival like a couple years ago, I think, but it was so good. It's really beautiful. Um, but that's definitely on my list somewhere. I don't really like rank them like my favorite movies. I don't put them like first, second, third, fourth, or whatever, but it's definitely somewhere on my list. It's kind of just like a whole collection of really good
Yeah,
movies. I'm trying to think of others that I really, really like.
yeah.
But
Like I think my list isn't like ranked. It's not like one, two, three, four, five. But I think
yeah,
it's literally just I watch it and I'm like I have to remember this movie. Like I can't not watch it because I take something away from it. So I'm like I got it. So then I just go as quick as possible and I write down the movie and then the director. So I was like, okay, I gotta remember these.
yeah. Have you seen the Knives Out movies?
Yeah.
I like those too because I don't know. I haven't watched like a ton of movies, as you can probably tell by me saying like, "Oh, I haven't heard of that," but they felt like unique to me in some sort of way, which could
Mm,
be for me like not knowing about a ton of different movies. But I kind of liked that they were fun and they were both, they fit together, but they're both like different. But it was
yeah.
interesting. I really like both of those. And what about you? What are some other movies?
I keep going down my list. I popped like the three that were first listed were King of Summer, Hot Summer Nights, and then Under the Silver Lake.
Mhm.
Uh, I was gonna shine a little bit more light on Under the Silver Lake. I absolutely adore that movie. It's about Andrew Garfield, and he's just like I won't say a low life, but like lives in LA, lives in Silver Lake, and he just doesn't have like anything really going for him. He meets this girl, the whole like like they fall in love, but it like happens like super quickly, like in the night, like they share a moment together, and then the next morning she's like gone, like and missing and nowhere to be found, and so then he just starts like trying to figure out what happened to her and where she went, and it goes down like this really long path about a bunch of secrets, like dark secrets that are amongst LA and Los Angeles, and I thought it was the coolest thing because like I said originally, I was born born in San Diego, moved to outside Los Angeles. I didn't live there for long. I only lived there up until maybe like 4 or 5, but then I moved here. But I think those couple of years were just enough for me to be like, okay, I want to go back. Like this is like where all my family is. This is everything. And then so whenever I started watching movies and stuff, and I found this one, I was like, I'm already in. And then once they started bringing out like a lot of like the staples of Hollywood, like the Hollywood sign,
Yeah.
they have like the thing they do is they show movies in graveyards, and then they have like this bookstore called the Last Bookstore, and then all these like different things, like the Silver Lake Reservoir, like all these like different like little locations all throughout Los Angeles were like put in this movie and used to push the narrative, and I thought it was the coolest thing, and it was very trippy too. Like the ending was really trippy, made me think, which is I think the best thing to like sit down and be like, whoa, like what just happened? So absolutely adore that movie. Andrew Garfield is really good. It sucks that I feel like it doesn't get as much like buzz that I think it deserves, but that movie is a lot of fun and I really recommend it. Another one is Big Time Adolescence with Pete Davidson. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't. You're going to hear this a lot.
That one's on Hulu for sure. That's like a Hulu movie. So I really recommend that too. I really recommend that one too because it's just a lot of fun. I think that's like a really good like it's like an easy watch, like very like it's like a comfort, not comfort. I don't know. It's like an easy comedy to watch. It's Pete Davidson, who's like already super charismatic and super fun, and then he's matched up with his ex girlfriend's little brother, who's best friends with him, and so they're like connected, and he's going like to try to get a girlfriend, and Pete Davidson's the one that like guides him, and it's really cool because it's kind of like super bad in a way, which I don't know if you've seen. Which if you haven't, watch that movie. That movie's super funny, but it's kind of like super bad in a way, with like a comedy with like a duo that they end up having to be separated, and you kind of watch that relationship go that way. But you see like the love and joy they have and share together, which I think is super fun and super funny. And it's cool too because then I could like I guess say I could relate to that because I have whenever I was younger, like freshman, sophomore year, I had friends that were seniors and stuff that went away to college. So I would always like look at them like the older brother kind of thing. Even like my older brothers, I would look at them like that and stuff. So it's kind of cool like watching a movie about that relationship with an older guy, younger kid, kind of being like best friends in a brotherly manner, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to check it out. That and all the other ones you listed off that I haven't seen yet. I really need to watch more movies because I've been looking for some lately because I've been trying to watch more, but I wasn't really sure like which ones are good, which ones are worth watching. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to let
Yeah,
me know because
because whenever COVID hit, I it was what 2020 freshman year, so like I wasn't like at school anymore. I was just at home, which is definitely like a learning curve, and I definitely like didn't like I guess traditional like learning, like being in the classroom and stuff. So what I would do is I would wake up in the morning, and then on like a Monday, I would get all my assignments for the week. I wouldn't like have like, oh, you have this Monday, you have this Tuesday. I would just get they're like you have to complete this by Friday, and I would just start on Monday at like 6 or 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, and I would just pull an all nighter from like 7 to 7 in the morning. It was like a super ridiculous amount of time, and I would fit all of my assignments. So I would be done, and then I would go to sleep super early, like when the sun comes up, and I would sleep in until like 1 o'clock ish, and then I'd have basically the rest of the week off. And we also couldn't leave the house, so I would always just watch movies. Like that was my escape, and I would watch them. I'd watch like 3 movies, 4 movies a day or like a night, and I would just pull all nighters, just going through each one. And so I think that's for sure like when I completely fell in love. Like I knew I wanted to be a director. I knew I wanted to go to film school and do all of this stuff, but like that was the one that like set it into stone. Was when I would like sit down like in this bed and just watch a ton of movies. So I think that's where I got my most experience for it. Because thank God I had a ton of time on my hands.
yeah, that's awesome. can't believe you could get like all your schoolwork done like in one night.
Uh,
That's
I mean, I was a freshman, so it wasn't like
yeah.
super hard stuff. But I would like I didn't get it when people would just like pace themselves out. I was like, you could finish all of it if you just focus for like a solid hour straight, or like 5 6 hours. And it wasn't like tough because I think the teachers understood too that were like, oh, working online and stuff doesn't always like work out. So anything I could finish within that one period or within that one little bit, I would go for it all. And just it sounds kind of insane, but I would just go for it. It was
I
just
would have fallen asleep. So that's
no,
wow.
it's funny. Um, I think the next album on my list, hopefully you've seen, is Her. Have you?
I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, Her, so good. I think out of anything to watch first, that for sure, because that's with Joaquin Phoenix, and it's made by Spike Jonze, and that was I remember when it came out originally, and I was a lot younger, but it was to me it was just the movie about the guy that fell in love with Siri, because it's about the guy that falls in love with AI, and I was like, oh, just it's just the guy that fell in love with Siri, and it turns out like later down, whenever I watched it, I was like, whoa, like this is extremely sad, and it made me like super upset because I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how like depressing a movie could get. And so I watched this, and then I learned about like the backstory, which is like both him and his wife. I forgot her name. She's another filmmaker. She made Lost in Translation, but they were going through a divorce, and then I don't know if it's like confirmed, but this to audiences was their like coping film like that they made to talk about the divorce, and so he made this, and then she made another film, and it was super super sad, but
Oh
I really
wow. Yeah, I'll have to check that out then, along
yeah,
with the whole list of other ones, because they all sound so interesting. Like, all right, that one's called Hurt.
not her, it was
Hurt.
HR.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's super super good, and it has Scarlett Johansson in it. She's the robot.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote it down, so I will remember to watch it sometime. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What
So
about you? Have you movies?
sorry, the audio like cut out for a second. Um, the the audio's glitching. One moment.
No,
Okay,
you're good.
think it's good now. So sorry. Could you repeat that again?
Oh yeah, I was asking if you have any other movies that you would recommend.
I unfortunately don't make a list, so um, I'm probably like not thinking of a lot of them that I really liked, but I do recommend 9 Days.
Hmm.
Do you watch documentaries?
Yeah, like every once in a while.
Okay, so there was one I saw at the Asian Film Festival in Dallas because I was a videographer for it and I got to watch some of the films. But it's called Cat Daddies and it's a documentary film, but it's actually really, really sad and really, really like heartwarming too. But it's about like, it sounds so basic, but there's like
Yeah,
more story to it if once you actually see it. But it's about like these different cat owners who are guys, and it's it kind of tells their different stories and stuff. But there is like it sounds really like simple, but there is a really like deep storytelling aspect to it, which I thought was really cool and pretty sad. So I do recommend that one. I think it's on Apple TV Plus now, or it's going to be sometime this month. Can't remember. But I do recommend that if you like documentaries, or even if you don't, I still think it's worth watching. And then, I mean, I've just watched so many different documentaries that kind of lost track. Um, what else? There are some TV shows that I
yeah,
recommend. I wouldn't. If you have Hulu, there's a TV show called Dope Sick on there that I really recommend. I have a
yeah.
friend who's an actor in it, but which is why I even watched it in the first place, but it's actually really good. Um, Not
I
sure
remember
if you've seen it.
I haven't. I don't think I watched it, but I definitely like heard. But honestly, basically I for Hulu, I just watched a lot of like Atlanta. I like am in love with Donald Glover, and literally it's everything he does. So I watched a lot of Atlanta. I started Fleabag, which was super fun. But no, I would definitely I'll put that on the list because I've heard a lot of buzz about that.
Yeah, it's a really good show, so I really recommend it. And I think it stars Michael Keaton and some others that you've probably heard of, but it's really good. Um, Again, I'm probably forgetting so many that I would recommend right now because I really need to start like a list and start writing down all the films I watch.
Yeah. Is it kind of messed up that the only like documentaries I watch are like true crime or like super messed up stuff? I don't know. Because I watched, this is just me like being a fanatic about Los Angeles, but um, the one about, oh, the Night Stalker, that's what it's called. And I watched that. Weirdly enough, my mom, like I watched the entire thing. It was talking about like all these like terrible stuff that he did, and it was like an 8 episode or something like that. And me and my mom did shit together, and super nice. Well, not like what he did or like the documentary, but it was like good bonding time. But I also recommend that if you're into the true crime stuff.
Yeah, I haven't watched like many true crime shows or anything, but I would
Oh,
definitely watch it because I don't know, it seems interesting. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you real quick, but the Zoom meeting's about to time out, so if you want to stay on for like 10 more minutes, you could probably like exit the Zoom meeting and then rejoin, and I think it might fix it. I mean, it worked before for the Pegasus interview, so we could try it real quick. Otherwise, I could just generate a new Zoom link for like the
yeah.
last 15 minutes or so. But
Wait,
yeah.
do I stay on this one or join again?
You can hit the exit meeting button and then try to join back in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to make a new link real quick. One moment. All right, and I am back. Oh, hello, Reaper Kicker. I just now saw that you joined, so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We'll return in just a moment. But how are you doing today, Reaper? Oh, awesome. I hope it went well.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, Erin. Welcome back. I was just talking to someone in the chat, which I hadn't checked it in a while and completely missed this.
Yeah.
But we have Reaper Kicker in the chat today, and he says his favorite films are mostly martial arts films like Bruce Lee and Scott Adkins, and his favorite TV series is Supernatural.
Hey, that's what's up. I never got into Supernatural, which is super like weird because I feel like it fits like what I would like, which is I don't know. I always heard everything about it with my brother, and like they would always like gush over that, but I would watch like 1 or 2 episodes and then completely like stop. I'm really down with shows though. I feel like that's why I grabbed towards movies because I'm like it's a 2 hour, 3 hour deal and then I'm done. But like
Yeah.
shows, I can't like watch a show for like 13 hours straight. Like that's probably super healthy. So
Yeah, like if I see that a show has more than like 2 seasons, I won't even like watch it really because I'm like, okay, that's just so many episodes.
yeah, and,
Like cuz if I start watching it, I know I'm going to want to keep watching it unless it's like boring or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know why, but I just don't even bother if it's more than like 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Reaper Kicker says Supernatural has like 15 seasons, so it's a lot, and it's a lot to catch up on.
I think another thing I'm so good with finishing, like even with stuff with like longer seasons, like The Office and like New Girl or
Mhm.
shows like that, it's just because like I'm totally okay falling asleep to them because like I'll
Oh
just
yeah.
sit there, watch it, and I just leave it on in the background, even if I don't watch it. But
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about The Office, and I tried to watch like 2 episodes, but I don't know, I can't get into it for some reason. I mean, I'm not sure why. It's
I
just
think
like,
it's the the first season. I think I don't know. I feel like that. I feel like the prime seasons are seasons like 2, 3, 4, and like in between there. Maybe you guys kind of hop in the Office. The Office is so good.
yeah, I watched the first episode, like the pilot episode, and then I watched like, I think it was like season 6 or something, but I watched one other episode because it was a Sweeney Todd episode, and that's one of my favorite musicals. So
Yeah.
actually, it is my favorite musical, but that's like the only reason I even tried to watch The Office. Reaper says The Office is popular, but I haven't watched it yet.
Hmm.
But he likes the memes of it.
Great. I love Michael Scott or Prison Mike. I mean, I don't know. That was like I said though. It's like one of the shows I watched and I actually paid attention to like the first time through. But I mean, I've already watched it through like so many separate times, like all the seasons. So I just put it on the background. I mean, like I'll still laugh at the jokes and stuff, but I'll just like watch it or fall asleep to it sometimes. I don't know. Like once I finish it, then I'm like, oh okay, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like one of those shows that's like good to have in the background, while you're doing things or whatever. Because, I mean, as far as I know, it's one of those shows where you don't have to, you kind of can catch on quickly if you miss something. But at least what I could tell from like the very few episodes I watched.
Yeah, because I recently started Peaky Blinders, which I don't know if you've seen, but that's like one of the shows where I would like fall asleep to. Like not like I would just fall asleep on accident because it'd be like late and I'm just watching it and I'd fall asleep. But I would never be able to like catch up because I'd just be lost. I'd be super confused. So like The Office is pretty easy to like follow. Same thing for like Parks and Rec and shows like that. Like I don't know, it's very like simple, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I tried to watch His Dark Materials, which I don't know if you've heard of it.
Uh,
Uh, but like I fell asleep during 2 episodes, and now I can't really watch it anymore because I'm so confused. But
have you seen Midnight Mass on Netflix?
I haven't. No.
So it's like a nice way. It's just like a show about like this little old town, and it's like I don't know, like an island somewhere where like nobody lives, and then their like priest that's like usually the priest there it like is on like some trip in Jerusalem or something, and then there's this like new younger priest, and he starts like committing a bunch of miracles and doing a bunch of miracles and stuff, and everyone's like, what? It's so weird. And people are like, oh, he's like a shady guy, but then everyone else is like, oh my god, he's doing miracles. Like, look at this. And so they try to like figure out like what his deal is, and it turns out, wait, do you like care? Can I spoil it? Is that bad? Or
No, you can spoil it. It's fine.
it turns out that he like in it the young priest is actually the old priest, but
What?
but he met Angel, but yeah, I didn't find out until like after that the Angel was actually a vampire, so it's a vampire show. But long story short, I was watching it one time. It was like 3 or 4 a.m. and I just woke up to a ton of screaming TV because like and it was like I think one of the guys was like being burned alive, and it was like screaming at top of his lungs, and it freaked me out. And so like after that, I just never watched like serious shows at night because I was like I can't do that again.
Oh no. That would that would be so scary. It would terrify me.
You know what?
Actually, that reminds me that there are movies I'm forgetting that I really like.
Oh,
I
that's
really like Jordan Peele movies, which I know we kind of talked a little bit about this yesterday. I forgot.
yeah.
But I really like Us. I don't know.
Uh,
It's so good. Actually, just any of his movies. They're great.
Another film profile. Um, no, I really love Jordan Peele. He's definitely up there with one of my favorite filmmakers. I think he's just so cool. Like he's just such a cool guy, and not only that too, but like going from like comedy, like skit comedy, to like horror. I feel like it's such a
Yeah.
big, so like a total switch. But he did it so well. He won a freaking Oscar for it, which is insane. So huge props to that guy. That guy's
Yeah, he's incredible. He's definitely like one of my top five filmmakers.
mhm. Who's number one if you had to pick?
That's really tough. Um, okay, filmmakers in general. Jordan Peele's definitely like one of my favorite directors, but like going with like filmmakers, like any kind
Yeah.
of filmmakers, Greg Fraser, who I mentioned earlier, is definitely my favorite. He's like my inspiration. So, he's definitely my favorite filmmaker. But director, favorite director is really tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just say Jordan Peele because I can't think of any others right now that really. There are some that I like that are really good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, it's like it's so tough because so many people make so many good movies and stuff. Like I said, like Jordan Peele, 100% for sure. Love everything that he made. It's just tough because I think there's only so many people the whole like filmography. Like Ari Aster, I've seen all of his films. I really like him too. But he only has like so many out right now. Like he's still kind of like up and coming because he only has
Yeah.
like I think three features. Like one of them's coming out recently. The same thing with Jordan Peele. Lena has like three features out, but like a ton of other stuff. But I feel like this is kind of not. I don't know if this is like super popular, but Casey Neistat is one of my like biggest inspirations overall. And like it's weird to say because I feel like so many people are like, "Oh, Steven Spielberg," or like Quentin Tarantino, which don't get me wrong, absolute fantastic filmmakers and definitely idols. But I always look up to like Casey Neistat and stuff he does. So even though that might not be directly like what I want to do, I think like the mindset of doing it, his attitude while doing it, and everything else that he has to do around it, he's probably up there in my top like the top one or two, top three. I don't know. I like it's weird because I don't think I like base them as like filmmakers because I feel like I get so many different inspirations from like a ton of other people that like I just put it on just like artist. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah. Yeah. Who else do I really like? Um, I do like Matt Reeves. That's
mm,
another director that I think is really good. This is going to sound so weird, but okay.
oh,
So I don't really care for a lot of his movies, but or anything, but I kind of like it's kind of inspiring how he always brings like a specific style to all of his films and he's bold, weird, but Tim Burton
okay,
like his movies aren't my favorite. Um
yeah,
but
uh,
they're very character driven, which I like, and then they're also like very, you know, they bring like they're unique.
it,
They're definitely unique, which
it,
I think is
he's
really
like
good.
yeah, I think he's like one of those guys where it's like no matter what, like if you watch it, like anybody would be like, oh, that's super. Like without a doubt, it's just that's his style, that's his thing, that's what he does, and I think that's super super cool. That like I don't know that he does stuff like that, and you can just tell
Yeah.
he has like trademarks, which is super cool.
Reaper said in the chat, I remember on HBO they made a live action Teen Titans show. It's pretty cool. That's very interesting because I would never expect that show to be made into a live action.
Yeah,
Like,
I watched. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you still watching, yeah, but I watched the first season, like stopped halfway through, not because there's a whole sleeping problem, but like I just genuinely just didn't get interested. Like I thought it was like I didn't really like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it. I felt like the first season was kind of just like, and you just I think I needed to get into it more, but I still like keep up to date with everything that's going on. So like I know about it and I know what's going on. I'm just not watching it, which is kind of unfortunate, which I kind of need to do.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen the animated version. I saw like a clip of one of the episodes or something, but I'm not sure. I never really.
Yeah,
I
because there's
mean,
like two Teen Titans Go and then the original Teen Titans, which was like earlier 2000.
okay, yeah. Reaper says, yeah, normally it was a comic and cartoon until they made it in a live action. That's really interesting, Reaper.
Yeah,
I only just recently got HBO Max, so I've been watching like the DC movies because I've mainly just watched Marvel. I'm not like a super fan, but I just keep watching them. And then the first DC movie I ever watched was the Batman last year, and it was so good. Like it's definitely my favorite superhero movie and in my top favorite movies. But I haven't before that I never watched any DC movies except like Wonder Woman. But recently I've been just trying to watch them just because because I think it's fair if I'm watching Marvel just because I'll just watch the DC ones. And I
yeah,
was also kind of watching them because I wanted to see how bad they actually were. Because I know people say like DC movies aren't that great a lot.
yeah.
So I've been watching them, and some of them actually they weren't as cringy as I expected, which was kind of sad. Because I've been trying to purposefully like watch very bad movies, but I mean I would just like I don't know. I've
Like
just
I'm definitely like a super fan, 100% of like all superhero stuff. Um, I'm really like all into the whole like comic book, Batman, Spider Man, all that
yeah.
stuff. All that, like I think that's my like honestly like number one thing that like other than movies, I feel like I like care about. I don't know. Not like okay, that's not messed up. Not that I care about, but that I'm like interested in because like I read comic books, I do all that stuff. So it's like weird to hear other like people's takes on stuff. Especially whenever it comes to DC because they're so spotty. They can have like absolute like terrible movies and then just randomly drop like a 4 hour movie that you have to watch in like chapters, but then it's like kind of pretty cool. But then that director like got fired and everyone got pissed off about it. So I think it's just like filled with drama. But they recently hired James Gunn as like the CEO, like co-CEO with Peter Safran, I think. And I could be wrong, but now they're like trying to put him on track, which I'm super excited for. Super, super
Yeah,
excited.
me too. And I mean,
I
unlike
agree,
you, I've never been like a super fan of superhero movies. Not sure why, but I like them. But what are your favorite superhero movies from both DC and Marvel?
Oh, okay. I love. I didn't know what I was talking about. I love Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's awesome. That's super fun. Marvel, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Um, just like you're talking like MCU or just like Marvel in general? Because
Just in general.
Logan is a fantastic movie, which I really recommend. I think it's one of the best like comic book movies out there. So definitely Spider-Man: No Way Home, Logan, and then either Infinity War or Endgame, which some people would pick like either or. Um, Shoot, there's so many good ones because there's a lot. But okay, either Infinity War or Endgame. I think Infinity War is just a little bit better. I think Endgame has so much fan service that is gonna make like fanboy like just like freak out over, which was me like in the theater. So just having like a connection to that. Those are my top three Marvel. And then on the other side, DC, definitely the Batman, 100% the Batman. That just blew me away. The Dark
Yes.
Knight, a very good Batman movie, and shoot, I don't know, the Suicide Squad is really good. I love the Suicide Squad. Um, I would say Man of Steel, but there's only so many moments I like in Man of Steel. Like it's kind of spotty, and that's not a lot of people like argue against it, but that's not my Superman in a way because I feel like Superman's a lot more charismatic than he was shown and portrayed in the film. But I don't know. I definitely Dark Knight, Batman, and I think the Suicide Squad, which is
Yeah, I haven't seen the third one. I've watched the Dark Knight trilogy, so I've watched all of those because I'm a Batman fan. After
Yep.
watching The Batman, I just started watching like every Batman film I could, including Batman and Robin, which, if you're watching this stream, I recommend it. Definitely. Because, like, okay, it's so cringy, but it's so fun to watch that I don't think it's a waste of time to watch it. I don't know. I just like maybe it's just me, but watching bad movies is just fun
Yeah.
to see like how bad they actually are. But yeah, I think
That's
it
a good
has
point.
like a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Another one I think is the Snyder Cut, which is that I think also spotty amongst fans, but like I think that's 4 hours. So
Oh
I only
wow.
watch it. So I think it's 4 hours. Like I'm pretty sure, but I only watch every so often because he made it to watch in chapters. But that one's like miles better than the original Justice League. But I mean that time limit is so tough, but it's also
Yeah.
super really like super good at some parts. But it sucks to see that that universe went nowhere because he got fired. But it's okay. I mean, I'm excited for what James Gunn has to do.
Yeah, me too. And I'm excited for the Batman. I think it's going to be a trilogy. So
Oh yeah,
hopefully they're going to keep that, which they will, but they're at
oh
least
yeah.
making the second one. Um,
They they released recently. I think Matt Reeves came out and said that he said he's deep into the Batman 2 script. Like that's like all he's doing and working on. And then he said that him and James Gunn are going to be meeting, and his like Batverse is going to be separate, which is super good. I think they should
yeah,
keep it separate.
they should. They should. But I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be a trilogy, and I'm excited to see how they could keep like the realism to it, which
Yeah.
Matt Reeves was really great at for the first one. It was very grounded. It felt realistic, and it was so good. Like I can't really describe it because I love that movie so much.
What's your take on that? Like having realism in superhero movies? Like, do you think it's cool or like good to like embrace that like campy nature of like superhero films and like the weirdness of it, or do you think it's better to keep them like grounded for some characters?
I think it's good to have a mix of both because different I think it's always cool to see different directors' takes on it, like how Matt Reeves keeps it very grounded for the Batman, and then to see other directors, like, for example, Batman again, Batman 1966.
Mm.
It's hilarious, it's very fun. But, comic books, I haven't really read any, but from what I can tell, they're like some of them are very funny, and then some of
Yeah.
them are a little more grounded, like but I think it's nice to have like a mix of both because depending on whatever kind of style you like, there's always like a film that you're sure to find really fun. And depending on the characters themselves and like the world it's set in, yeah, I really think it's good to have like a mix of both realism and kind of more fun, comedic, kind of that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it like just depends honestly, because I feel like some people are able to pull it off, and then other people aren't. In a way,
Yeah,
like you said, like made a great like Gotham City, great environment, great everything, and it was like I said, super realistic, which it was. I mean, it made a lot of sense, and it kind of put Batman in the real world. But whenever you get people like it's like James Gunn, where like he embraces like that campy nature of comic books, he embraces like the crazy side of like he made like a raccoon like a character that we like care about. There's like there I think because he's releasing the third one and people are thinking he's gonna die, and everyone and so am I like full on ready to cry over some like raccoon, which I don't think anyone expected ever. Or like he made like Yondu, which is like this blue alien guy, and we lost our mind whenever he was like, oh, he may have not, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Everyone lost their mind, and so it's super cool to see him take these weird, wacky characters and give them like a home, give them, let them be seen. And I feel like there's definitely a metaphor there somewhere. But I think it's fantastic that he does that. So that's why I'm so excited for him to come to DC because I know he's going to do that here. And so I think it just like depends. I think some characters will work better realistic, whereas
yeah.
others I have a lot more fun and work better when they're not realistic.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you with that. And I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They're definitely some of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to see those, Guardians of the Galaxy and the Batman are both like comic book movies, but they're completely different. And I really like that because I like both of them, even though they
Yeah,
have completely different styles. But yeah, it really depends on the characters, and what kind of style would fit them best because Batman, it makes sense for it to be a really gritty detective noir. So yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I, um, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I've
Yeah.
seen that. It's really good.
Okay. I love how like that one is like this like spy thriller, and within the same universe, like you said, there's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a super fun family film about like aliens, and there's like alien people in it, but they're still in like the same universe, and then they end up interacting with each other, like in Infinity War, like a tree person meets Captain America, and nobody questions it, and it works out, or we're fighting a freaking purple alien dude, like which I think is super sick, super sick. And I think that's why I feel like a lot of people are like Marvel fans or stuff, and they're like arguing against it. They're like, "Oh, not doing it right." But I think that's like why I praise it so much because they're able to do these crazy tonal shifts and these crazy things and get so many people to watch it and have it work. I think is absolutely insane. And then they're about to have King the Conqueror with Jonathan Majors, and he's gonna play the same character in like 4 or 5 different movies, and just gonna be him, which I
Wow.
don't know if it be able to like pull off. So I think I'm definitely an MCU like fanboy for sure. If you couldn't tell already, but I don't know. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the MCU like shows on Disney Plus? Have you seen like all of them?
Yeah, I think I've kept up with most of them. I think there's only a couple I haven't really like watched. I know we talked about She-Hulk. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good kid. Um, and then I don't think I watched Miss Marvel. I don't think I watched What If. Um, I don't know. I know for sure I watched Loki, WandaVision, um, Moon Knight. I think Captain America. I don't know if there's any other ones, but I know for sure I watched all this. Those are the ones I most remember. Which I think I really enjoyed WandaVision. I think that was a super cool, like different take, and that was
It
actually like
was.
genuinely scary at sometimes, like thinking that you're like stuck in reality. Which whenever they're like doing little clues, I thought that was the coolest thing. Um, that was really good. I didn't necessarily like Falcon and Winter Soldier as much. I think that was just, I mean, someone else could have loved it. I think it's different, like you said, like tonally, definitely like Captain America led film. But I do love how they brought Sam Wilson up as Captain America. I think that's awesome, and his suit is so perfect. And I love John Walker as U.S. agent. I thought that was super fun. I thought he played him perfectly. I forgot the actor's name. Wyatt Russell. I found that he played him perfectly, and Sebastian Stan was great. I thought Loki was awesome. Like I think that was my favorite one. I remember like the episode whenever they released like the multiverse and he killed the time god or whatever at King the Conqueror. When he killed that guy, I like lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, like we're not going back from here. So that was super cool. And then I love Moon Knight. I already loved the character beforehand, like before
Yeah.
watching the show. So it's cool to watch it, like reading a comic book and see it happen, than to watch a show and like watch it visually. And I love Oscar Isaac. I think he's just such a cool dude. And then I think I didn't get as much love as other shows, but that one I loved a lot. Oh, and then Hawkeye. Hawkeye was fantastic. I don't think he got enough recognition as he deserves because everyone just kind of passed him off as like the arrow dude. But I love Hawkeye. Hawkeye was awesome.
I completely forgot about the Hawkeye show until you just reminded me, but I love it. I love Hawkeye. Like he's probably one of my favorite Marvel like superheroes, but
Yeah,
even though I forgot the show existed, which it's not like the show is forgettable. I mean, it was really really good, but like I'm just there are a lot of different MCU shows that have been coming out and I really like though that all the MCU shows like they have very distinct styles, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool. Because for example, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's a bit grittier. It's like a thriller, and then Miss Marvel was really cool. It was fun, and then like What If's really cool style of animation, but they're all, and then of course WandaVision, which is probably my favorite, maybe. Not really sure because they're all pretty good, but they're all very different, and I like that because it keeps keeps them from all getting blended together, but
Yeah.
they're all so good.
I don't know. I think it's cool too to I don't know. I think it's really cool to watch them have different stakes and stuff outside of like the grand
Oh
universe
yeah.
or the big movies and stuff. To actually watch them like deal with stuff. And like with Hawkeye, we finally saw them. It's like family. So I'm like, wow, that's cool. And we get to like learn these different little things about them. Or we got to see Loki a little bit more, and that was super cool. And that was super fun. So it's nice to see like these like I guess side stories, that happen. That yeah, some of them aren't necessarily like super involved with the actual grand MCU, but when they are, then it's like nice to watch them and make sense. I think one thing though that kind of upsets me is these huge like CGI fights, like like the example. I felt like in no way, shape, or form at the end of it, like okay, this is perfect. This goes back into like the tonal thing where I feel like yeah, I understand like they're the avatars, they have these gods and deities that but I don't think we need to watch Amit and like Khonshu fight each other as like big
Yeah.
monsters, and that like that's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm here for, and I don't think that's necessarily what Moon Knight represents. I feel like he's more of a street level character. He's fighting like beating up bad guys and stuff in the street. And I mean, it's cool they went like that supernatural route, which is chill. But I wish we would have gotten more of that, like I guess like Daredevil, as darker tone, like edgy stuff, rather than like this like I don't know, huge like 100-foot tall alligator by somebody. I'm like okay, like what's the point of
Yeah,
that?
I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of spectacle and huge CGI fights like that, which is one of the reasons I didn't really care for like Eternals, that movie. So it's like I prefer more character driven stories, which it's
Yeah,
kind of more of a personal preference, but I prefer to see like the characters and I really liked what you said about the different stakes in all of the MCU shows and how for example, like Hawkeye, he wasn't like fighting, you know, all these different supernatural monsters. So I kind of
yeah,
prefer shows more like that are a little more grounded, but occasionally,
mm,
like, like Infinity War and Endgame, of course, they have to be epic. But I don't know, it's kind of my personal preference when it comes to shows like that.
I agree. Like you said, it was very nice to see them grounded. Like we got to see like Sam Wilson like fix a boat.
Yeah.
You know, like and you would go to people and they're like, okay, why do you need to see that? Like, why is that important? But like in the grand scheme of things, you take so much out of it about the character, which I think is really cool. I remember like watching someone review it, and they point out like it doesn't. The first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier doesn't start with like this huge fight scene. It doesn't start with it. It like starts with this guy like ironing a coat. He was like ironing a tux, and I'm like, damn, like that's true. Like in a weird way, that's like really nice, and it kind of makes him more human. I think that's the best part about the shows is we get to see these characters so much more, which brings them down and we're able to care about them. So now, for example, like if Captain America now goes and like gets hurt, gets killed, I'm gonna be upset because I've spent like past like I don't know 8 hours with this dude. So I think I really like the show. I think they really hit it like spot on with a lot of the shows.
Yeah, they definitely did. And I'm excited to see like the future of the MCU and how they can keep bringing like unique styles and stuff and different unique, you know, perspectives to it while still keeping
Yeah.
it the MCU. So I'm really excited about that. And I just checked the time and it's about 7 o'clock. So unfortunately, I think we're probably going to have to end the stream. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone watching. And thank you, Erin, for chatting today. This is really great, and I have a lot of movies that I need to check out now. So thank you for those recommendations.
Problem.
But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Please stay tuned for more content like this coming soon. We have both the Pegasus YouTube channel and the Pegasus Twitch channel now, so make sure to subscribe and follow on both of those. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Aaron. And I think it's about time to wrap up the stream. So, all right, have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.